Hey everybody, welcome to Aniki, the podcast about anime with two brothers. I'm Ben.
And I'm a 5th level bard.
That's it? You're just leaving that hanging?
Yeah, I'm just gonna, what, a 5th level bard? How is that? That's fine.
I don't know, the way you said it sounded like there was going to be more.
I guess I could say that I'm definitely not Slayers.
You are not Slayers. 100%.
Neither is this show.
No. So we'll talk about KonoSuba in a bit. But first, what have you been up to since last we spoke?
Since last we spoke, I've been playing the new Magic set. Not been doing super good at it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, life goes on.
Is it at least interesting?
It's a core set. There's some cool cards. But it's, green is very, very good in it.
I do like a good green kill everybody deck.
If you want 6/6 tramplers and 7/7s that gain you 7 life when you play them, and just a whole bunch of sort of garbage green stuff, then this set's for you.
That sounds pretty garbage.
If you like tricky stuff, then this isn't for you.
At least it's not a squirrel deck.
Yeah, I like trickier decks, and this set is a whole lot of big green stompy. At least in limited. Limited, like everyone plays green and or red and just stomps you. So it's a little irritating because it's like, oh, yep, that's a 6/6 trampler. Yep, not much I can do about that.
And now you're dead. Congratulations.
Yep.
That's what happens.
There's not a whole lot of good removal for those 6/6 tramplers, so it's just like, yep.
Guess you're gonna have to run a blue deck.
Well, you do, and then in limited, you can't really counter them in limited, and that's not how limited works.
Oh.
You just kind of try to deal with it. I've been bouncing them a lot. I have a blue deck right now with Tezzeret, and really my game plan is to live long enough to play the Tezzeret, because the Tezzeret's really good.
What turn is that? 5, 6?
About turn 5. If you can play him, he wrecks it, because it's like, here, draw infinite cards and make Thopters for free. It's like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll fly over you and hope to survive.
Oh, man.
Because if you can resolve Tezzeret and start drawing some cards off of him, it's kind of over.
Well, there you go. Magic 19. Wow. I think
That's
last
cool
time we
set.
played, it was 10?
Even 10? No, that was ages ago.
That was It wasn't Kagamusha. Crap, what's the name of the thing?
Kamigawa.
Kamigawa. That one. That was the last time we
played after that. We played EDH during your wedding.
Well, yes, like one-offs, but I mean, like, consistently playing, we haven't done that since
No, I mean, that's fairly
Kageyama.
accurate.
long time ago.
Kamigawa. God River. Come on.
Kamigawa. I can't
Yeah.
Japanese. I don't know what Japanese is. Speaking of which, so a couple weeks ago we did our anime summer 2018 preview show,
Just sure we did.
and for the heck of it, of the ones I could get, I watched one episode of most of them. You want to hear my thoughts?
Sure.
Okay, so first I watched Backstreet Girls.
Okay, how was that?
Okay, it's super surreal, as you would expect.
One would imagine.
It's more of a sketch show than I anticipated.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Most of the first episode is actually done in exposition, and it's also super low budget, obviously.
Oh, no.
It's mostly just mouths moving with a lot of
That's
voice acting. It's clearly
That's slightly
designed to sell
disappointing.
the manga, because watching it, I'm like, I should just read the manga.
yeah.
So, then I watched that Jujin-chan Dropkick with the
Oh, yeah,
Chainsaw
how was
Girl.
that?
Have you watched Gabriel Dropout?
Gabriel Dropout. I cannot say that I have.
Okay, it's a mashup of Gabriel Dropout and Dokuro-chan.
I do like a Dokuro-chan.
So, the main chick is obviously a huge sadist because she has a chainsaw. There are 2 other side characters that weren't mentioned in the synopsis, but I guess they're there now. It's a super self-aware show with lots of meta jokes. It's humorous.
That's good.
It's humorous. I wouldn't say it's game-changing, but it's there.
It gives you a titter.
I also watched Cells at Work.
Oh, yes. How was that?
Okay, first of all, it is Osmosis Jones, the anime.
Yeah, that's
It
kind of
is
what I figured.
really earnest about it. And
In a
also,
good way or a bad way?
well,
I feel like it could be in a really good way.
I think it's a good way. One thing I will show you, though,
Okay.
there are platelets in this show.
Platelet!
And I just need to show you these platelets.
Are they the cutest thing in the whole wide world?
Here, just watch this.
Oh, no. These are going to be adorable, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
I know! Those are too cute. Those are too cute.
They're too cute. Way too cute for their own good.
I like how a red cell is definitely a delivery girl, because it makes perfect sense.
I know, right?
They deliver oxygen. Oh no. These little platelets. They're too cute. I cannot handle that.
Them and their silly little hats.
Yes.
I love the fact that when it pans back out, you notice that they're building this entire, like, huge dam structure.
Well, yeah.
That's enormous, and they're so small. It's so cute.
So itty bitty.
It's so cute. So it's worth watching just for platelets. Watch an episode of Island. It's pretty much Umineko. It has the feeling of being harem-esque Mystery Island.
Disappointing.
It's a little interesting, but not like in a gripping way. And after 24 minutes of just one episode, I'm fairly confident in what the mysterious relationship between the potentially time-traveling main characters is.
They're like brothers or something, I'm sure.
Well, one's a boy, one's a girl, so I'm sure they're lovers or something.
Or something.
The weirdest thing is the girl character, he meets her in the show while she's just singing to herself on a beach, but it's clearly just it's the vocal track from a pop song. Like, there's no effort put into making this sound like she's actually walking down a beach.
Well, you do what you can.
Come on, guys. Then I watched an episode of Tonegawa. Best way I can put this is it has all the Zawas of
that's good.
Akagi and Kaiji, but it's about a middle manager going to meetings.
That's pretty legit. That's pretty good. That's pretty good elevator pitch.
It is very relatable to me. I understand this.
That definitely doesn't make me be like, no, I don't want that. That makes me be like, yeah.
A friend of mine watched this and he didn't like this part. There's a new narrator, and they are trying very hard to emulate the narrator from Kaiji.
Yeah.
But this guy it's hard to put it into words. He's really earnest about being excited, but it doesn't sound like he is, which I guess goes along with the whole middle management ethos.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, it's very clear that he is fluent in English, because he always refers to Tonegawa as number 2. Not number 2, number 2. That R is
I'm
perfect.
Number 2. You are number 6.
And then I watched an episode of Bananafish.
Okay, how was that?
Surprisingly, the best show of the whole bunch.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's really old.
The details in the art are amazing. Turns out the Bananafish is actually some weird drug that falls into the hands of a Robin Hood type gang character.
Oh, that's cool.
Chaos ensues. That's a better...
Funny chaos or serious chaos?
Serious chaos.
Okay.
There's not much humor in this show.
Okay, I didn't think so, but just had to make sure.
But it's actually pretty good. I'll probably watch more of that.
That's nice.
And then last thing I got my hands on was Asobase.
Sure.
It was this surreal comedy high school show where one girl's from America and the other one likes to play games.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's trying very hard to be Nichijou, and it's not really hitting that mark. It's
not very many things can be Nichijou.
It's a sketch show. I think one of the sketches was pretty funny, but the others were just trying really hard and not really being able to find its own footing. So, yeah, Bananafish and Cells at Work are definitely, most everyone should watch those.
Okay.
Because why not? You know what else people should watch?
Many shows that aren't the one we watched this week.
It's KonoSuba, and everyone should watch it no matter what John says.
I'm not quite sure about that.
No matter what John says.
It is all right.
So this week, I got John to watch one of my favorite comedy shows the last couple of years, which is KonoSuba, or the full title, which is like God's blessing on this magical world.
Beautiful world, because Subarashii, right?
Sure. I'll just give a quick synopsis. It's an isekai, except the reverse of that.
Well, no, I mean, it's not the reverse of that. A reverse of that, I would definitely watch a reverse of that.
Oh? How would you define reverse of that?
A reverse of that would be like an RPG character getting themselves sent off to just like normal high school.
Ooh.
Because basically at the end of the day, once you say that, it might as well just be Full Metal Panic. So yeah, I would watch that because I have in the past watched Full Metal Panic.
I didn't realize that was a reverse isekai. Yeah, that's pretty much accurate.
It kind of is, right?
I mean, yeah, it is. Anyway, KonoSuba is the story of a normal high school boy who dies and gets the opportunity to go to a whole new world. But when deciding what kind of ridiculous magical item or any one thing he can take with him to beat the Devil King, the goddess doing this transaction is being a not nice person.
A wise ass.
A wise ass. And so, despite her and throwing all of his logic out the window, he's like, all right, I'm taking you with me.
Well, I mean, it does make sense, right? Because it's like, well, I mean, obviously you are a god. Surely her magic will be useful. Surely her magic will prove useful.
Spoilers. It isn't.
Yeah.
So what were your general impressions?
It's all right.
Just all right? Oh.
It's all right. There's a couple episodes that are like legit great, but most of it's all right.
I will admit on the third watching, because this was my third watching, there is a gradual incline to the show finding its footing. But once it's found that footing, it maintains it through the rest of the season and into season 2, which you haven't seen yet.
Really? Because I've heard things that season 2 is not that great.
Eh.
Or at least not as good as season 1. And if that is the case,
no,
then I do believe I will pass.
There's some really good bits in season 2 that I really enjoyed. There may be 1 or 2 episodes that aren't the best, but I like season 2 a lot. I like all of it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, everyone should go watch it.
Yeah, all right.
Because it's funny.
It's got some good parts.
It has really great parts. And then the rest are good parts.
Your threshold for humor is not very high, is it?
Not really, no.
I guess not.
So anyway, spoiler land, as if there are too many spoilers for this show.
Yeah.
So I guess first we should probably explain what exactly isekai is and why we're not exactly big fans of it to begin with.
Because it's an overused trope that's used in like 12 shows every season.
Why is there just this giant glut of these shows all of a sudden?
I do not know.
I mean, the standard idea of an isekai is normal high school student, almost always a dude, is transported to a magical land where he becomes like the hero to end all heroes, the chosen one.
Yeah.
The guy that will save everyone from impending doom.
I blame Sword Art Online.
That was a very popular one a couple of years ago.
Well, and it's not just that. It was like a web light novel before it was a show, and that was like several years before it was a show. So it was kind of like the seminal piece of this, and it just continues to. I guess that would make oh shoot, what's the name of it? Zero no Tsukaima, an isekai.
Yes, it would. Although it subverts it in its own way because he's not.
It does.
He's not supposed to be the hero.
He's
supposed to be
worst.
The hero.
She is also the worst.
There are good isekais, though, but you have to go back before Sword Art Online to find them.
Or watch Log Horizon.
Log Horizon's a good example, although that's an isekai, we think, maybe.
Yeah.
It's questionable whether they were actually transported there.
Or Escaflowne.
Escaflowne is a good one. My favorite is El Hazard. That's a really good one.
Yep. Yeah,
and then I think technically 12 Kingdoms is an isekai. And that's one of the best anime ever.
It's pretty good.
It's one of my favorites.
So, Keiki, what country are you from?
He's from Fruitland. So, I think the best part about KonoSuba is it takes isekai and subverts it very, very heavily.
I do like how they never leave the starting town for the entirety of the first season.
They don't. They do leave it in the second season. They go on a side quest. But yeah, for the whole first season, they are in the starting town. They never leave. I do like how the world is sort of constructed because they land there and normally there's some sort of really contrived way of making like RPG type things happen in the world.
Oh, usually because they're just in a video game.
Yeah,
like
they're all convoluted or something.
90 times out of 90, they're in a video game.
Here's your D&D sheet. This is part of you now. You can level up stats and stuff.
It's like, here you go. Just take it. Just take your D&D sheet. It's just here.
There's no dancing around that topic. It's just, yep, this is how things work. This is how you learn skills. This is how you level up.
Main character, what's his name again?
Kazuma.
Kazuma does. Kazuma, like, when he gets his character sheet, he's like, oh, this is where they're gonna find out my latent skills and how amazing I am. And it's just like, you're average across the board.
Well, he's got a slightly higher intelligence, but
your int is like 11, and your luck is like 25.
Good job.
Everything else, it's 10s across the board. Mm-hmm. You did it.
Good job.
I do like that, which is like, you are, it's like my D&D character in the D&D game I'm in right now. I'm like 10, 12, 11, 13, 12, 14.
Wow, you are bland as butter.
I am extraordinarily bland. I have no negatives.
Well, that's good.
It is good. Considering these were randomly generated stats, it would have been nice to have like a 16, but life goes on.
Yeah, so we have that part of the world. I guess the whole idea of the world is there's a devil king. There are generals, and they have to defeat all the generals, and they get to defeat the devil king. But it's really like a thing over there. We don't really care about it.
Yeah. The whole reason they want to do this isn't because Kazuma wants to do it, really. Kazuma would be perfectly happy being a merchant and just hanging out.
Yep.
But in order for Aqua-sama, the goddess, to be able to go back to being an actual goddess instead of a schlub down here on Adventurer World, she kind of has to beat the quest. So she kind of wants to
well, most of the time she does.
Yeah. Other times she just wants to eat.
Eat, drink, rainbows, etc.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our characters. I was discussing this with my wife, and we really like that each of the characters subverts a typical isekai character in their class. So, Kazuma is supposed to be the hero character that comes in and saves everyone. But instead, he's just a loser, a pervert, a schlub. He doesn't do anything.
I wouldn't call him a loser. He's just kind of a schlub.
He's lazy.
He's fairly competent. He's just...
He can be competent.
Not great.
There are instances where he's competent, but he overstates his competence a lot.
I mean, that's fair.
And it gets him into trouble. In a pinch, he can come through, but not really.
I also like how his skills by the end of the show are such a mess. He's that guy who just like put 1 in everything. It's like, I'll take this magic spell, and this, I'll take steal, and I'll take this one and that one, and it's like, are you like, there's an argument against min-maxing, but you're just taking literally everything that you can afford.
I think he's just multi-classing every opportunity he gets. He's like, in the situation we're about to encounter, this might be useful. I'll just take it without considering beyond that.
Steal was a good pickup for somebody with ridiculously high luck.
It is. Depends who he uses it on, really.
I mean, that's true.
Then we have Aqua, who's supposed to be this... The normal character here is the benevolent, very highly powered, usually, like she is, a priest type, right? But here, instead of being benevolent, she's selfish, incompetent, and arrogant.
Yeah,
like,
and
won't
you? So we actually have a paladin very similar to Aqua-sama in our D&D group.
Oh, good.
She has a nasty tendency to not heal anyone until they're dead already.
Well, Aqua's very good at resurrection.
You're supposed to keep us alive, not wait till we're knocked unconscious and then heal us.
Well, see, then you're not moving around. She can target you easier.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
She's not wrong.
Then we have Megumin, the Ultra Mage.
I do like Megumin, and I do like Darkness. They're definitely my faves.
I think I like Darkness more than Megumin, but Megumin is pretty hilarious in her own right. She's supposed to be that sort of glass cannon. Like, she does the explodey bits, but she's squishy. But in this show, they just crank that up to 11, and like, yeah, she can do 1 explosion a day, and then she faints.
She's the sorcerer who pumped all of their meta magic feats so they can make that 1 spell slot go really far, and then they're out of magic for the rest of forever.
Yep. And it's brought up multiple times. Why don't you just get some other destruction magic spells?
They don't explode. They're not an explosion.
She is an explosion purist. A connoisseur.
Yeah. A connoisseur. And by the end of the show, Kazuma has really learned to appreciate the distinct nuance of one explosion versus another.
Oh, yes. Some, have different qualities, different mouthfeel, if you will.
Some jiggle your flesh, others you feel in the bones.
Yes. It's very, very dignified.
Some you get the shockwave with the heat, some you get the shockwave but no heat. Oh, yes, it's very, very important.
She's also the lolly character, although not really.
Is she? Not really.
It's questionable what her age is. We know that
I
other
guess.
characters
She's
won't
not
let
old
her
enough to
drink. But we're not sure if she's actually not old enough to drink or if it's just everyone assumes she isn't.
Yeah, but she's definitely not even played for being a lolly character, so.
There's one instance where Kazuma's talking to her and accidentally calls her Loliko, or little girl.
That's good.
And then she just launches into this depression.
She's very sad.
And then we have Darkness. And Darkness
I do like Darkness a lot.
Is the typical noble paladin character, the tank that boldly goes into the fray, selfless, and she does do all those things. Yeah. But
well, except
Kazuma
she can't
knows,
hit anything.
Kazuma knows, although everybody else thinks she's that character. Kazuma knows that she really does it because she's a masochist.
She's a masochistic masochistic exhibitionist.
There you go.
I got it. Took me a while, but I got it. And I do love that because that would be a very good D&D character.
I'm planning on doing that, actually.
I think it's very good.
There's a campaign coming up, and I want to do that.
I want to be in front of it.
But I have to pull off the weird panting as well, because that really sells it.
It's hard to do. It does. It's
like the moment you meet Darkness, you're like, something's up with this chick.
Yeah, this lady's weird. It's like, oh, she wants to take the big hits. Just the real big, hard,
humiliating hits. And it's really played up. And
she will not hesitate to risk herself to be captured by the evil Lord of Darkness in case they need to torture her, have her do horrible, unspeakable things.
I just love everything Darkness is in, pretty much.
Darkness is pretty sweet.
It's delightful. There are some other characters. Let's see, we have Wiz. She's a Dark Lord, kind of, one of the generals.
She's a lich.
But she's also a lich and
shop owner.
She's a shop owner with that's it. That's all she does now. Yeah. She's also very loved in the community, more so than anybody else.
As is our favorite character.
Oh, Mohawk guy?
No. I mean, he's good.
Mohawk
guy's
amazing.
No. The other guy from the real world.
Oh, what was his name?
I don't know. Oh. He's the whole reason episode 5 is amazing. Everything about episode 5 of this show is sweet. I wish every episode was that one, because that one is very, very good.
Kyoya is another Kazuma. He dies, brought to this world, but he actually chooses like a legendary sword. And what's great is, in this show, because it's subverting everything, he's the normal isekai character. And when he shows up, the show just pisses all over him.
Oh, like super hard. Because he's super excited to meet Aqua-sama and just thinks it's like, Kazuma, why are you being an asshole to this goddess? And all the other girls of Kazuma's party are like, this guy's weird and creepy. We don't like him.
We don't like him. He's too... he's so pushy. And he's got a harem and they're weird. And we don't like this guy. And then he gets his sword stolen.
That was very good.
And then pawned off.
And then sold.
Poor Kyoya. I don't feel sorry for him at all.
I don't either. I wish there were more instances of him bumping into the party because I like it very much.
I don't remember if he shows up in season 2. I think he may be shown, but I don't know if he like interacts with the party or not. I don't remember. Yeah, episode 5 I think is where it finds its footing. It sort of maintains that throughout the rest of the...
Episode 5 is very good.
Oh, it's so good. So I guess we can talk about a little of the plots, such as they are.
They're pretty thin.
It is pretty thin. Like, it's a comedy show. There's not a whole lot of plot. So I guess we can just talk about jokes we like in each section.
Sure.
First part's like them forming up, Kazuma actually showing up, them meeting Megumin and Darkness.
Pretty good. The start of it's okay. I like when he learns Steel.
Steel, yeah. Poor Chris. She kind of asked for it.
I'm not quite sure how much he intended. I think it's that luck aspect.
See, that's the thing, is you watch it on subsequent viewings, and he's tasked with stealing a dagger from her to learn the steel skill, because she's teaching it to him. and her dagger is on her belt. And she's like, if you can steal this, you can have it. It's worth a lot of money. But otherwise, you'll steal these rocks that I have in my hands. So he does steal, and he gets neither of those things.
Yeah.
He gets her pants.
Her panties. Because, of course, that's the sort of show this is.
Yeah. And that just becomes his thing. That's what he does now.
Yeah. And again, like, I'm not sure if, like, that's on purpose, or it's just that high luck roll where it's just like, what's the dumbest thing for him to steal that's, like, still, like, weirdly lucky thing to get? It's like, for a perverted guy like this, that.
Yep. So the first time you can make a questionable assertion that maybe he was going for the dagger, but on subsequent steals, he is 100% going for the gold.
Well, and he's also smart about it, too, because then he, like, blackmails her to get all of her money.
Yeah, and his money back. My favorite joke in the whole show, although Kazuma Des is one of the best ones.
That's a very good joke.
The best joke, because it never gets old. Any episode it's in, and having watched the series 3 times and knowing when it's going to happen, is the frog joke. The frog joke is when they are going out on a quest. It's first just Kazuma and Aqua going out to kill frogs, giant toads, and Aqua gets eaten.
Yep.
It's funny every single time. It is the
I
best joke.
I also like it because, like, the way Aqua and then Megumin get eaten by these frogs is they just plop in front, eat them up to their leg, and then just stand with their legs straight up in the air, standing there. And the way they manage to murder the frogs is just because, well, after they've grabbed somebody, they just stand still like that.
The Cosmo can kill them. The joke where Megumin actually blackmails Kazuma into accepting her into the group is pretty great.
That's very good, too. It's pretty choice.
Where she and Aqua are still covered in frog slime, and she starts yelling to the crowd that, of course, she will continue doing the weird kinky stuff that Kazuma wants that deals with slime on young girls. And he's like, no, stop. Okay, fine. You
Stop.
It's great. But she's also useless. So, well, she's
completely
useful
useless.
once a day, I guess. When darkness shows up, it's pretty choice. Everything she does is hilarious. One thing I really liked in the episode where she shows up is Aqua, even though she's like this goddess with her stats that are all maxed out except for Int, which is below average. She decides to start stocking up on skills, and she puts a bunch of points into Nature's Beauty.
All the prestidigitation skills.
Which is her most useful and also her most useless skill.
Yep.
All it does is make flowers pop out of her head and water pop out of fans.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
Extremely useful.
And good for making coleslaw.
That is true.
But that's about it. That is a really good quest, by the way.
Yeah, where he uses his high steel to steal the best cabbages.
Yes.
Because he's got good luck, and since Aqua has very bad luck, she ended up capturing only lettuce.
Yeah. What's great about that quest is normally in these types of shows, you got the low-level monsters like kobolds or something, right?
Slimes.
But here, the quest
Flying
is literally
cabbages.
defeat all the cabbages that are flying into the city.
Yep. Because they're just...
It's an annual event. Everyone's excited.
Yeah. It's the running of the cabbages.
Kazuma becomes a connoisseur of explosions in episode 4 when he and Megumin start going out to this castle out in the middle of nowhere so she can let off her one explosion a day.
Because she loves explosions.
So
it cannot
much.
be stressed enough.
At one point, she says that if she doesn't let off one explosion a day, she will die. Now, I don't know if that's because magic and stuff, or just she'll die of depression.
That one.
Probably.
Is life even worth living if you don't explode something every day?
I don't know. I mean, people are still letting off fireworks here, and 4th of July was a long time ago. But this is where we go into like the next arc-ish thing, where the Doulahan shows up.
The Doulahan is very good.
I love the way it's done.
I like him a lot. Because he's half serious, but when confronted with absurdity, he kind of devolves into absurdity himself.
Well, you know that something is up with him because he is a Doulahan, which is a ghost who is headless but is carrying his head around. But his horse is also headless, and the reins still stick out in front of it.
It's very good. He has a headless horse.
I expect a man popped out of it once.
I would hope so. I hope you don't meet him though. They are they are bad news.
So I've been told. But what's great is it turns out the castle that Megumin was blowing up continuously was his castle. He had just moved into it, and he's very mad that people keep coming in and blowing it up.
He just gets sick and tired of it. It's not like hurting him or anything.
And so he's like, all right, here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a death curse on one of your party. I'm going to put it on Megumin here because she's the one blowing stuff up. She's going to die in a week. And you'll all have to think about what you did and repent and come and fight me to remove the curse. But while he's casting it, Darkness jumps in front of Megumin and takes it herself.
Well, of course she does.
Because that's what she does. And the whole time she's talking about how she's going to be taken back to the castle and tortured and humiliated.
Made whole to do all sorts of humiliating things at the hands of this obviously sick and depraved Dualhan. Dualhan's like, quit making stuff up. No.
He's like, no, you're giving people the wrong impression. It's so bad that Kazuma goes up to Darkness and is like, you need to stop, knock it off because you're bothering the Dualhan.
You're bugging him. Come on.
You're making him feel bad.
He's like a pretty upstanding guy, please.
Dualhan goes off to await somebody's challenge to come and get him, but Aqua shows up and Deus Machina's the curse off.
You almost think there is going to be a turn here where it's like, okay, so it's now going to be a little serious. They're going to have to go to the castle and actually do this. And they're all going to sort of man up a little bit. It's going to be kind of a half serious arc. It's like, nope, a literal Deus Ex Machina because a literal goddess is like, yeah, I got strong enough magic, I can just decurse her, and does.
Decurses her, and then everyone's annoyed by it.
And it's like, oh.
Darkness is like,
then.
but my curse. And Kazuma and Megumin were like, but I wanted to blow up the castle.
we finally had motivation to go do something with our lives.
So then we come to the best episode by far, which is episode 5, which has
very good.
One half is the alligator story, and the other half is Kyoya.
A+.
Yeah, so they're tasked with going out to a lake and purifying.
They treat her like a tea bag.
They decide, well,
this
Aqua,
is a very smart plan. I'm not gonna lie, this is a great D&D plan, which is like you have to purify the lake.
Yep.
Our cleric can do it just by touching it because of how holy they are. But they're super high-level alligator monsters.
So what do? Well,
we're gonna lock her in a cage and toss her in the water.
And the best part about this is when they toss her in the water, it's not like I'm not really sure what I expected from the plan, but the fact that it's shown that it's like the cage is in there and she's just sort of sitting
she's
in there. 6 inches of water,
a little
like
damp.
a dope. It's so great.
just kind of waiting,
just sitting.
It's like, this will happen eventually. Sit me in water for 8 hours and I'll purify the lake. All right. But then the alligators attack the thing. Nobody helps her.
No, what's great about the attack is the other 3 are up by a tree far away from Aqua.
Oh, yeah.
Basically out of earshot almost. They're talking about nonsense, and one of them's like, man, it's been like 4 hours, and no alligators have shown up. I guess we're okay. And Kazuma's like, don't say that. You'll trigger a flag or something.
He says that multiple times. It's like, do you people not, like, realize the type of world we're in?
This is how flags work, guys. So then the alligators attack the cage, and the way she just says purification over and over and over is so funny.
Over and over. And then she she gets the fear of God in her, and she's just like, not only should I just not stand here, I guess I should actively try to purify this lake.
And she does. She succeeds wildly in clarifying the lake. It's pure. You can see straight to the bottom. Also, she has PTSD now.
Yeah, she does not want to leave her happy cage. It is very, very safe inside the cage. The world outside the cage is terrifying.
It's very scary.
Please let me stay inside the cage.
So they're taking her back to the town, and she's singing this really sad, depressing song to herself.
It's very good.
And that's when they meet Kyoya, who is the normal isekai guy. And, nobody likes him. No one. He shows up. He's like, that's Aqua. She's the one that sent me here to save everyone. I must tell her all about my exploits and also save her from this cage, obviously. But when he gets her out of the cage, she's like, who are you again? Were you, I don't know.
She doesn't even remember. Because she's even like, I've sent so many people here, man. I don't even. I can't expect it to remember all of you.
So yeah, then he gets his sword stolen because he's a dope. and then he gets pawned off because Kazuma's cleverer than he is.
Yep. It's like, where's my sword? And he's like, I already sold it. I can't use it. I did what any self-respecting adventurer would do.
What's really great is the fight, because Kyoya challenges Kazuma to a fight and says, if I win, Aqua comes with me. And if you win, I will give you my sword and all that. And Kazuma's like, okay, and just run straight into it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
It's like, all right.
And then at the end of that, the Dullahan shows back up and is very annoyed that no one has come to the castle to come fight him.
Yeah, they're like, we fixed the cure. It's like, yeah, but hey.
There's some really nice touches in the Dullahan fight. One of them is the Dullahan mentions that no one's really come to the castle to challenge him, but someone keeps blowing it up still. And Kazuma's like, yeah, but...
No, we stopped. We promised we would stop.
Right, Megamine? And she turns around and is like, I don't know. And here's one of those little touches. He's like, but how would you get back? Because you always faint. Someone would have had to carry you back. And he turns to Aqua, and she tries to whistle, and she can't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's like... It's like, oh, well then.
So this is where the show gets a little serious, kind of. Like, it's actually a decent fight.
It's a smooch. Yeah, no, it's a good fight, and it's well done. And I do like how Kazuma steals his head.
Steals his head and plays soccer with it.
And the joke of Aqua using high-level turn-on-deads and being like, it's not doing anything, when he's, like, writhing on the ground in pain. He's just not instantly evaporating, so she's like, oh, he's so strong.
It's not working at all.
My turn-on-dead's just not doing anything. Kazuma's just like, do you not hear him screaming?
It's here we see that the show even subverts the normal reward system. Because normally if you defeat this kind of person, you're like, you get all the levels, or you get all the gold, you get all the girls.
Well, and he does.
And he does.
Yeah, he does.
But it's all taken away because Aqua, in her zeal to be like, part of this thing is to create holy water, I could create holy water. Flood level magic.
I have flood level create water spells.
Which destroys the city wall.
So, yes, they get a reward of like $1 million, but, you know,
it's all taken away.
It costs 1.3 million to fix the city gate.
Why is Aqua so useless? What's funny is she's not actually that useless because she's really good at...
she's just kind of dumb.
She's really good at, like, mundane stuff. Like, she's good at laundry. She's good at selling stuff when she's doing the part-time job in the market. Like, she's good at some things.
Derpy.
But when it comes to, like, anything where she would be important, she's the worst.
Derp Town, USA.
I did notice, especially in the next episode, when Kazuma dies because they were killing snow sprites.
Oh, that's a pretty okay episode.
Where he gets his head cut off? Yeah.
Mostly just because, like, the other goddess takes actual pity on him.
Oh, Eris.
It's like, you're right, your life has sucked. Do you want to be, like, reborn as, like, the son of an affluent family in Japan? He's like, yes, please.
But then he actually, he thinks, actually, maybe I didn't have it so bad. I kind of enjoyed my time there until he gets a chance to go back, and suddenly he's like, wait, no, oh, no, this is the worst. I don't want to go back. I noticed in this episode, of course, I had noticed it before, but it hadn't, like, triggered anything in my head, but the music, it's really good music.
The music in this show is actually pretty good. I made a mental note of that a couple of times.
Very Looney Tunes-esque.
Yeah.
Because there are some certain motifs that they use for, like, Megamine's explosion, for instance, or some other things. But in all the other scenes, it feels like most of those musical cues are, like, designed for that particular scene. So you have, like, a sad, silly clarinet just playing because what's happening right now, it was really serious, but now it's silly.
No, it's pretty good. It's got pretty good...
It's really good music. The op is but whatever.
It does have more jigglies per second than...
there are lots of jigglies.
Than most anime.
I assume because there are no bras in this world.
I guess not.
That would make sense. In the next episode, we meet Wiz, who we're just introduced to, like we're supposed to know who she is, but then we get explained to us that she was actually a lich. She was actually a nice lich. She would go to the graveyard and send spirits to the next world that were hanging around. What's really nice is she lets drop a couple lines in the scene where Kazuma and Aqua are going to her shop. that they lead into jokes later down the line. One of which is she says when Aqua's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the goddess Aqua that's worshipped by the Axis sect here on this world," and she's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! The Axis sect? Those guys are a bunch of loonies."
They're weird.
And so she's terrified of Aqua being in her store, not because she thinks she's an actual goddess, but because she's associated with Axis at all. This joke plays out in full in season 2, and it is choice. I also like the turn of where we find out that Wiz actually knew the Dullahan, and it turns out that he was a giant perv.
Giant perv rolling his head under her skirt.
The level of devotion that it took to not only come up with that joke, but to execute it as well, is the sort of devotion to perversion that I expect from this show.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Because it's like, well, we already killed off the Dullahan, but we never actually like had a chance to use his head for something funny, like rolling it under a skirt. Let's do that in a flashback. Because why not? But this is where they also get their house. Up until now, they've been living in a stable. Well, 2 of them have been. I don't know where the other 2 live.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never mentioned where Darkness and Megumin live, but Kazuma and Aqua have been living for a good part of a year in a stable. And so they finally get a chance to go to a house, but only if they can exorcise it from weird doll ghosts.
Would you say they're in a stable relationship?
They're in a stable. They're not in any kind of relationship.
And that's fair.
The doll episode is pretty creepy.
That's pretty good. Those creepy dolls.
I know, right? It's well done because the dolls are super creepy, and
the joke of like, why is this place so haunted? It's like, well, somebody put a sealing spell in the graveyard, so all the spirits go over to this mansion.
Yeah, why would that be? And then we find out that Aqua, when they dealt with Wiz and her graveyard of spirits, she was like, I'm tired of going over there and dealing with all those spirits, so I'll just put a barrier around it so spirits can't go to the graveyard. And they'll go somewhere else, and I won't have to go there anymore.
Yeah.
It'll help everyone.
She's like if Yuna was like, sendings are boring, so I'm just not gonna do them anymore.
Episode 9, it's got a really good joke at the start of it, where they're in the house, and Aqua is trying to get Kazuma off a couch because she thinks she deserves it more.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where a joke line from episode 1 comes in. Because she's I'm the higher level character because all of my stats have been maxed out since we got here. And Kazuma realizes, wait a minute, that means your int stat will never go up. And you're stuck that way.
He's like, what do you mean? Your stats have never increased at all. Like my stats have gone up. And she's like, yeah, idiot. Mine are so maxed, I'm not getting any more skill points. It's like, so that means your int will never go up.
You poor dear.
I'm so sorry.
So he gets up, like pities her.
It just gives her this like most pitying look.
It's like, yeah, you do deserve this couch more than me. I need to go lay down.
She can't figure out like, what's this look for? And just internally, he's like, she'll never get any brighter. She's topped out. This is it.
This one's also the succubus episode.
Yeah.
I figured if you had any issue with the show, it would be this one.
There's some really good like jokes in the succubus parts. Like I love the scene of him ordering stuff and finding out the guy that said welcome to hell is like a basket weaver.
Not an adventurer.
A+. And just the faces Kazuma makes when he's asking the questions about like, so is this legal for me to get in my naughty dream? And
well,
like,
it's a dream.
It's just a dream.
It should be fun.
And he just like gets he gets the best faces. They're very good.
One of the best parts about that whole scene is when he goes in with the 2 other dudes. Like, they're greeted by these succubi who are essentially nude. Like,
oh yeah,
they couldn't wear anything less without this being an H game. And whenever they're asked to do anything, it's this really effeminate, hi, yeah, okay, I'll go over here.
Yeah,
sure.
I'll just come over here and I'll order my skeezy dream. And I do like the joke that it sets up, the scene with him in darkness where he assumes that it's his dream.
Yeah.
It goes on too long though. Like that's the big problem. If it was just like a quick exchange, it would be like perfect, but it goes on for like 3 minutes. And it's like, okay.
It could be about half as long.
I got it. I've gotten the joke. Now you're just belaboring this for no reason.
Sure. I do like before he actually gets to that quote unquote dream sequence, They have a party celebration
Oh, with the crab.
with the crab, which is delicious crab. And every time I see that episode, I want to eat crab.
Oh yeah, no joke.
But he gives this long-winded internal monologue about he really does need to drink with his party members because it's a sense of friendship and bonding. Even though he's told by the succubi, don't drink anything. He's like, I really should because being
really should.
Party is really important. And so he stands up and he's like, I'm gonna go to bed.
It's like, I should really do this, but I think I'm gonna turn in early tonight, guys.
So with the dream, I think I realized this time that the show's real strength, it's got the subversion stuff, and that's fine. But I think its real strength is it has these long-running joke threads that go on through many episodes, and the way it gets like really good bits is it has those joke threads collide and interact with each other. And this is one of those instances. We've got Darkness's masochism streak, where she wants Kazuma to humiliate her and give her verbal abuse, etc. And we have Kazuma's perversion, and we had the setup in this particular episode of the succubi dream thing. Yeah. And this just sort of squishes all those together. And it's like,
and what's also good, it also smashes together the thing where it's like she's actually kind of shy when it comes to anything actually coming to fruition. She likes the ideas of all of this, but
so during that sequence where he thinks it's a dream and she is super weirded out, it's like, is she weirded out? Is she enjoying this? It's unclear. I feel like before is 100%. She would feel bad but not feel bad about this. But there's also now this doubt of, well, maybe she doesn't actually like it. Maybe she just thinks she does.
Yeah.
Maybe she's more layered than you think.
No.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
But also, once it's revealed that it wasn't a dream and that Aqua and Megumin have captured the succubus that was actually coming to give him his dream, the resolve Kazuma has of defending the succubus is delightful.
Oh, it's very good.
Because we have never seen him really be heroic yet until this point where he's like, no, there are some things worth dying for.
and it is this service that these young succubi,
they didn't do anything wrong.
Well, and there's that, and just like how quick he is, because like Darkness comes back from the literal bathroom, like the hot springs room in the mansion, and is like, he's been controlled by a succubus this whole time, and how quickly he's like, yes,
that is exactly what happened.
That answer. That is so nice and easy. Like, I like all the jokes surrounding this bit. I just think the actual encounter goes on long enough that's like, okay, this is creepy now. You could have just had it. You should have had just a wham bam and been done with it, because that's all you need.
Yeah, I think the drawing of the back, I think that part, it should have cut off at that point.
Come on. It's like, we don't need to belabor this.
And then we come to the last episode, which there's been this joke thread throughout the series where people would talk about, oh yeah, the Destroyer. And anytime Kazuma asks about it, he's like, the only response he gets is, well, it's the Destroyer. It destroys things.
Destroyer, it's super cool.
And it does weird stuff.
Cool. Kids love it.
There's even a scene where back when they were doing the crab and drinking and everything, Aqua just starts making all these weird motions, and everyone else is like, wow, that's a really good Destroyer impression. You're getting all the movements down really well. But she's not doing anything recognizable. She's just wiggling around. But it turns out the Destroyer is this giant spider fortress that's gone on a rampage.
Spider mech.
It destroys anything in its path, and it's been roaming around for ages. And it's on its way to the beginner town. So one of the things I like about this one is that Darkness goes out to confront the giant spider thing, and she's standing her ground, and she seems to actually be heroic this time. Like, it's not some weird fetish thing, and Kazuma goes out to talk to her about it, and she gives this long, sort of melancholy backstory about, she's actually this rich girl from a prestigious family, and she's gone off to follow her heart and all that stuff, and this is actually her heroic will, and it's not for any kind of, weird masochism thing. And Kazuma's like, yeah, it is. She's like, oh, yeah, maybe it is a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
But the best part is she actually tells him her real name, which is Lalatina something Darkness. They go on this very long thing, and he's like, yeah, okay, I understand why you're out here doing this. That's fine. Everything's great. And there's this pause, and then he calls her by her real name, Lalatina, because it's funny. And she blows up at him because it's a stupid name.
It is a very dumb name.
Just like Megabean's name.
Yeah, the last episode's pretty sweet too. I love the backstory of the destroyer.
Isn't it great?
When they get inside, it's just like the diary of some scientist. Like, oh, we're gonna find out what twisted individual created this. And it's just like, I sent off these adventurers. They want me to build this giant destroying thing. I don't think it can be done, but I'm not gonna tell them that. I'll just send off a bunch of adventurers to find the most high-powered source of magical energy in the universe. Fat chance of them ever. They brought it back. Oh fuck. Now I gotta build it.
And then it goes on a rampage.
Oh, it went on a rampage. Whoever built this thing to be completely impregnable was such an idiot. That was me.
Dang.
I'll just stay inside this and watch the world burn,
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess if everybody's dead, they won't know it was me. This is fine. There's another good joke where all the adventurers are out in front of the city, willing to defend the city from the destroyer. And they're like, yeah, I'm doing this to protect, what's really precious to all of us. And every time one of them does this, there's a flashback to the succubi.
A picture of the succubi. And one of them's like, I'm a high-powered adventurer, but this is the reason I stay around this small town is to protect it when threats like this show up. Succubi. Succubi dirty dream business. Oh yeah.
Yep. It's a brilliant business plan.
They know why they're here.
There's also a really good joke when they're in the chamber with the high-powered magical orb thing that powers the whole thing, and they're trying to teleport it away before it self-destructs and blows them all to bits. And Wiz is like, well, I can teleport it, but I'm out of magic because I used explosion a while ago. And she's like, Kazuma, would it be okay if I sucked it out? And his response is immediately, onegashimasu.
Yes. You go right ahead. It's like, I won't be such a...
I won't be so tasteless as to ask what you're going to suck out. Just go for it.
Just go for it, man.
He even does this thing where he's like, Mother, Father, I'm about to become an adult.
In this strange world, I'm finally becoming a man. And it's like...
But she just sucks out his energy through Drain Touch.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good joke. I like it.
He's like, definitely worth it.
But even this ultimate victory at the end of the season ends in a good subversion.
Oh, yeah, because they have to teleport away the orb with a random teleport spell. And they're like, it's okay. Kazuma's luck is so high that nothing bad could happen.
Yep. So they teleport it away. And then later, when he thinks that the kingdom officials are coming to give him a reward, turns out they're arresting him for treason.
Because he teleported it like at the king's palatial mansion.
Yep, and blew it to bits. Lol. And that's how we leave the season. Yeah, it's really great.
It's all right.
I mean, there are lots of good parts to the show to me, but one is that none of the characters are really good people.
I mean, that's true.
Except Suspender's guy.
It's like Seinfeld meets Slayers.
That is a good way of putting it, yes. It's just a group of washed-up heroes who sometimes get a leg up on life, but they're usually their own worst enemies. It's actually... You know what it's more like? It's more like It's Always Sunny in Another World.
I've not seen Always Sunny.
It is very akin to that. I wonder if you could do actual character mappings from one to another. I bet you could.
Sure.
I'll have to think about that. But anyway, I think it's a really good show. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. I would encourage you, even though you sort of meh season 1 away, to go ahead and watch season 2. It's only 10 episodes, but it's...
It takes like time.
It does. But it's funny.
I could be doing other things.
But it's funny.
Yeah, I could just rewatch Slayers, though.
Oh, but Slayers is so long.
Yeah, but it's really good.
It is really good. I'm not going to lie.
And it's the same. It's basically the same jokes.
Well, hang on. No, she's a mix of Aqua and Megabean.
I mean, that's true.
And she can do explosion more than once a day. Except she also kind of destroys entire cities when she does it. Because she's a dope.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's totally fine. But if you did like this show, you would also like Slayers. And Slayers, in the long run, is probably better.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It actually has plot.
I still haven't seen TSR, the Slayers redub, which
I can't find it anywhere.
I know, right? It's supposed to be very good.
And it's because the people that did it, they don't want it out on the internet because they only want to show it at cons with groups of people. Well, and I understand that. That makes sense.
That and they don't want to get in trouble.
Well... That's not entirely true because they did. I think they did Redeath, didn't they?
They did, but they didn't release it on the internet. What they did is a couple cons. They finally gave it away on burnt DVDs.
Yep, and I got one of them.
The only reason we have it, the only reason it's probably online is because they just gave out those those DVDs
well,
of it.
They did do that, but when they gave them out to us, they told us don't put these online because we want to show them at cons because you experienced it first at cons, and it was a delightful experience, was it not? So let other people have that experience as well. And I'm like, I get that, but I still want to see TSR. And I don't know how to do that.
I want to see TSR real bad.
So what are we going to watch for next time?
I don't know. What was last season that's 13 episodes that we could watch?
Violet Evergarden.
Oh, let's watch that.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, I need to go to the bathroom.
Crimson Devils don't go to the bathroom.
That's true, they don't.
None of the girls go to the bathroom, as is tradition.
It's very true.
Except when they have to.
Yeah.
We will see you guys next time.
Yep. Bye forever.